Well, welcome back to the RC Pilot's Log and my DC-3 Dakota, spelt with an A, project. It's been a bit of a slow week on the project. You could probably hear my 3D printer whirring in the background. That has been somewhat of a distraction, and I may or may not be successfully printing an IL-2 Sturmovik from 3D Print Labs. I've also been printing some electronics trays for the front of the DC-3 project. I've designed these myself and gone through several iterations. The first with some lettering in, Dakota spelt incorrectly, and a receiver holder at the front. That didn't fit, and I'd spelt it wrong, so that was redesigned. Slightly smaller version with some battery holder areas and actually some recesses for fitting the receiver antennae through. That did fit, although one of the holes for the antennae didn't come out, but actually for weight distribution and to get the CG right, I need the batteries at the front, not in the middle. So this is the final version. It fits nicely. The receiver is mounted in the correct place, the antennae are through and cable tied to the recesses, and the batteries are mounted at the front. And that slides into the fuselage quite nicely. I am going to have to rework my battery cables because the power cables, because they actually interfere and it needs to come through the opening and can be shortened. But then I can get two 3-cell 2200 batteries on the nose there, and then it balances out quite nicely. The tray will just screw down onto the central balsa spar that's running the whole length of the fuselage, and then that can be removed should I need to access anything underneath. But I'm quite pleased with that. It's nice and lightweight. It's 20 to 30 grams extra, but it's on the nose, and that's fine because that's where I need it. And it's just going to tidy the thing up and make it a lot nicer to work on. I could, of course, just put a sheet of balsa in there and do the same thing, but I wanted to try the 3D printer. I've got it, and it's a nice 2mm plate. It's light, and it's a neat solution. I have also gone ahead and fiberglassed the rest of the fuselage and around to the underside. There's still a section to do here, and I've blended in the nose and finished planking all around there. So I need to glass the underside of the nose and the rear of the fuselage on the underside, but the top has been done, and I also need to start scalloping in the wings and make the fillet at the end that merges into the fuselage. But today, this episode, I'm going to focus on the tail. That needs to be finished off. The fuselage needs to be run back. The elevators need to be cut, and it all needs to be glassed and smoothed over. The tail wheel's nicely reinforced now. It's not moving anywhere. It's 2 bits of balsa either side there. On the whole, it's coming together quite quickly. I do have some larger propellers coming. I've got some 7x4 3 blades coming from Master Air Screw, and they will hopefully give me the power to weight I need, or the thrust I need to get this in the air, because it's not getting any lighter. So to get this tray to fit the way I want it to, I need to rework the power wires to the ESCs. They're too long for a start, but also I need them to come out either one side or come through both sides and join in the middle. If they come through both sides and join in the middle and solder together, it makes it difficult to remove this plate. So what I'm going to do is make a hole in the centre section of the fuselage here, desolder the join, push it through one side, come out long enough to come through the plate, cut them to length and resolder them. So in the process of testing that and installing the receiver and getting the channels lined up, I've burnt out one of the flap servos, which is a real pain because I don't really think I thought it through very well, and they're quite deep into the wing, and that could be a problem to get at. I'm not going to worry for now. Worst case scenario, I'll save some weight, remove the servos, remove the flaps. I think I should be able to do it later on. If not, I'm getting quite concerned about the weight of the model, and removing flaps might be a quick way to help. It's starting to feel, it feels solid, but it also feels a little bit weighty for its size. But I'm going to push on. I'm going to carry on, do what is left to do, and give it a go. I know it's one of those things that you try and you learn, and it may still fly, and it may fly well, but who knows? You know, I could build it as light as possible, and it still not fly. So I'm going with this for some durability. It is a bit heavier. I just need to make sure I can get the speed and avoid stalling it, tip stalling and things like that. But I can't even try that until it's finished. So enough blabbering. I'm going to get on with some more building. Aileron is now back on and gluing. The gap's a bit naff, but at the end of the day it will do the job. It's going to be less efficient, but hey, it is what it is. I've been able to cut out the bits of the hinge that was fiberglassed in and use that recess. I had to pack it out a bit more to bring the aileron back up to level, but it means I could reuse the recesses in the balsa aileron. I will have to do a bit of filling on this end where I've cut out for the hinge, thinking I would have to move positions. But that's on and curing, the glue's curing. I might have epoxy, otherwise I would have used 5-minute epoxy. Now I'm just using a clear Gorilla Glue, non-foaming. So that will set up over the next couple of hours while I do the other side. Annoyingly, these hinges, some of them have got a click straight out of the packet because they're cheap. But I've seen a good 3D printed method of hinging that relies on the 1.75mm PLA plastic as a hinge pin. That looks very cool, and I'll probably try that at some point. I'll certainly try it on the IL-2 Sturmovik, which is reprinting nicely without any stringing inside. That'll be a nice project, and I'll do some videos on that at a later date. Right, the elevator needs a lot more thought. I'm not sure how I'm going to link those, but I can now link the other aileron, install the control horn, and do the push rod.
Well, unfortunately, that's it for this episode. I think it's going to be a short one once it's edited up. Like I said, I've not done a lot this week on the project. I have been distracted, and it's actually been a nice little break from it. It's got to the point this week, the start of the week, I was a little bit bored with the project, a little bit frustrated, just wanted to get it finished. But I've had a few days of not touching it, so we've had a little bit of a slower week on it. But I'm pleased we've got the ailerons installed. This needs epoxying down, this hinge is not fitting and sticking, and the elevator is hinged. It is not joined left to right. I was thinking of using a wire, a push rod bent to shape to link the two. That doesn't seem to be working for me. So if anyone's got any suggestions to do a lightweight link between left and right elevators, then please do let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who's following me on Instagram. That's growing really, really quickly, and I'm loving communicating and building a bit of a community there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you are safe and well. Please do like, share and subscribe. Take care.